Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. It is Wednesday, September 3rd. We're officially in spooky season, guys. We kicked it off over this last weekend, or at least us super hardcore horror hounds have kicked it off. I guess I celebrate horror all year round, but this is when I can really, let my hair down as a horror fan. Show off the cool little spooky season logo, wear my Halloween hat, get the oranges going, all that kind of fun stuff. And here we are for another edition of Late Night with the Davey Before Dark. Unless you're out in the UK. If you're out in the UK, then it is dark. But out here for us folks in the States, it is still during the day. And I am... Gosh, guys, I was up really late working on stuff for the channel. So I'm still sort of waking up a little bit. So just bear with me here. Gonna have some water. I got my nifty little Davey Deathray pint glass. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Really appreciate y'all. Before I forget, I'm trying to remember to do this at the beginning and the end. Thank you so much to the Patreon members, the YouTube channel members, and of course, our amazing group of Death Squad mods. You guys are awesome, and we have 10 brand new channel members as of yesterday because we did a little gifting. We did a little membership gifting. So really appreciate all the people that have been with us for a while as members, but welcome to the new folks. Hopefully you find something here that you really enjoy that makes you want to stick around. Maybe like the Discord, which is pretty cool because this weekend I'm going to be hosting a mixtape listening party for the folks over on the Discord. So if you haven't joined that, link is in the description below. Join us over on Discord. Let me know which songs you want to have put on that playlist, and I'll start building that here later on in the week. And I guess I'll just remind you guys to hit that like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content because, guys, we are at, let's check the sub count here. We are at 1,720 subscribers here. So we're cruising on to 1,800 and we'll see. Maybe we can hit that 2,000 before Halloween. Maybe you guys can, get me to dress up as that alpha from 28 years later. We'll see. We shall see. I'm just going to change a few things here within the shop because I've got some new stuff that I want to show you guys, but I need to make it all public. But before we share the shop, I'm going to share the Discord and I'm going to say what's up to everybody that's hanging out here. Really appreciate you jumping in so early on a Wednesday afternoon. If you are out here in the States, then it means that you are probably at lunch, or maybe you get done with work early. I don't know. But let me go ahead. Okay, cool. I'm all caught up there. Guys, I do have a poll in the chat as well. It looks like a lot of you have voted. Which 90s horror icon defined the decade? And right now we have 22 votes. Ghostface is running away with it with 68%. Candyman's got 14%. Chucky's got 14%. And the fisherman, the lowly fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer, just 5%. That all checks out with me. That all checks out with me for sure. But let me jump in, say what's up to you guys, and then we'll get going with everything from today. So I want to share off or share the Discord, share the merch shop, and then really quick, we've got some pictures from the Camp Crystal Lake set. So we're going to show off some more of those by way of our buddy Friday the 13th archivist. So let's jump on in and say what's up to you guys. How about that? How about that? We got Ashton Luck in the house. What's happening, Ashton? Chester Franklin Jr. What's up, Chester? Hope you are doing well. We got Amanda kicking it. I am doing well, Amanda. I stayed up way too late last night working on this stuff, but I have to believe that at some point it's going to pay off. So we'll get to all that, but I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well also. Hopefully you got some good sleep and work is going awesomely for you. We got Jay Beach in the house. What's happening, Jay? So great to see you. We've got some guy named Davey Deathray hounding the chat about a bunch of stuff. We got King Matthew III news on the baby. Every day there's a little tidbit of news from King Matthew III. Congratulations, man. Hope everything is going well and continues to go well there for you. We got Brett from Good Real Hunting, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. How are you doing, Brett? So good to see you. Yeah, I know you just ended lunch. Appreciate you jumping in just to say what's up. Of course. And yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe to Good Real Hunting. Check out Chills and Thrills if you haven't yet. We got Aaron Click in the house. What's happening, Aaron? So good to see you. One of our great channel members, Paul Bradley, a new member into the fold. How are you doing, Paul? So good to see you. Let's see who else we got. Blu-ray Addict. What's happening, Blue? Hope you are having a great day and a good week so far. Guys, for all you football fans, we've got NFL starting tomorrow. Pretty awesome. I'm a huge football fan. Big time. NFL and college, but more so NFL, I would say. We got Gina, or as I like to say, my chunky Jordy. How are you doing, Gina? So good to see you. We got Eli Cortez, the man, the myth, the legend, the pillar of the horror YouTube community, a great channel member, and an amazing Death Squad mod. How are you doing, Eli? So good to see you. Eli, I've got some stuff cooked up that I think you're going to like. We'll show it to you here in a sec. We got Mike Baum in the house. Says, what's up, boils and ghouls? Happy spooky season. That's so funny that you did the little Tales from the Crypt Keeper thing, because I've got something fun to show you guys in the merch once we get going on that. We got Destiny Faulkner in the chat, one of our great Death Squad mods. How are you doing, Des? So good to see you. Really appreciate you jumping on in, of course. Let's see who else we got going on in here. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone, and then we will get to everything. Get to all of the important stuff, and then we got to get to our decades of dread. So remember, guys, last week we talked about the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the evolution of horror, the icons, the tropes, or just the feel of each decade. And then this week we are going to tackle the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and what we have so far from the 2020s, if we get there. Let's see here. Not sure if this counts the list. Mummy 1999 is one of my favorite horror. Yeah, I don't know if it's a horror. I would say it's like adventure. To me, Mummy 1999 feels like an Indiana Jones movie. So I know the Mummy is a horror character. I wouldn't consider that movie a horror movie, though. We got D Keat 71. How are you doing? I believe that's Dawn. Welcome back on in, Dawn. Hopefully you are doing well. So great to see you again. We got Joel from Darkroom Reviews. What's happening, Joel? So good to see you, buddy. Let's see who else we got going on in here. I can hear the little chime for the Discord. The Discord server is popping off right now, guys. So just so you know, we got Jamie Hart, the original Death Squad mod, one of our great channel members, our mama mod here on the channel. Hopefully you're doing well there, Jamie. Good to see you. And it looks like we are all caught up. Excellent. Guys, so I'm just going to keep on talking about it until everyone is signed up on over there. The Discord server is a freaking blast. Let's see what's going on in there. Hopefully it's appropriate. Really, it's just everyone saying hello and good morning to each other. We got Denise, Jean Whittecomb's in there. Ashton Luck is in there as well. We got Amanda. We got Erica chiming in. Very active. Ashton is in there every morning, wishing everybody a good morning. It's very sweet. Guys, the Discord server is an awesome place to be able to connect with people, you know, in between the streams. Maybe you've got a buddy in the chat that you know, maybe you're talking about something that's just total side chat and you want to continue that conversation. The Discord is a great place to do it. We have a whole bunch of different channels, whether it's the main chat, we have movie talk, memes, pics, and vids, music, self-promotion. So if you have your own channel or if you have something that you're working on, you can promote yourself on the Discord server. We even have a non-horror chat channel and a spot where I can put all of my polls for movies or listening parties or whatever. There's even a welcome channel here. So it looks like Gene just signed up to the server just a few minutes ago. And then the Daily Ghost and Brett joined last night. That's awesome. So yeah, we are growing over there. It's a really fun spot to hang. And speaking of the Discord server, guys, tonight, let me share this in the chat. There is a public watch party tonight, and it's still yet to be determined which movie that is going to be. So let me put this here in the chat So you're going to want to click on this in the chat before it goes away, guys. Come on over to the Discord server, sign up. If you haven't signed up for Discord already, it's a fun place to hang out. There's the link right there for tonight's event. Public watch party, which is great. On Discord, I can show the movie. We can show the movie and play the audio. So we can do watch parties on there where I just share the screen. You don't have to line anything up. And then we can do mixtape parties where we just listen to music together and share that experience. We don't have to line everything up. We can just listen and jump into the chat and chit chat with each other while we listen to music and watch movies. So there's a whole bunch of fun to be had over there on Discord. It's free. I mean, you can, I guess you can upgrade for other stuff. I haven't done that yet. I'm just using what they've got there. So it's kind of, it reminds me of like the old MIRC days for you people that are in your 40s that remember the old MIRC chat rooms. So jump on over to Discord. Tonight, let me take a look at the poll, because it's neck and neck between Pumpkinhead and Evil Dead 2013, guys. So it looks like we have, I'm going to check the poll over on YouTube first. We have 102 votes. 31% go to Evil Dead 2013. 29% are going to Pumpkinhead. Texas Chainsaw Massacre gets 23%. Hellraiser's getting 17%. So you can vote on YouTube. You can also vote on the Discord server. I'm going to, like right after this stream, I'm going to put a pin in it, close the voting for those, and pick the movie at that time. So if you want your voice to be heard, make sure to vote on YouTube and vote on Discord as well. That's the best way. So you can double dip. So the people that are already on Discord, or if you hop into Discord, you can double dip. So how about that, guys? How about it? And then moving forward, I'm probably going to, transition it to being just the people that are voting in Discord, because the people that are in Discord are more likely to be there for the public watch parties. So that way they have the voice, pretty much, essentially. So yeah, Discord server is a freaking blast. So that's going to be a public one. That's for everyone to join. But for you members, every other week we're going to be doing something on the Discord server, whether it's a watch party or it's a mixtape listening party. And that's going to be exclusive just to those channel members. So the reason why we're having a public watch party is because you guys met one of the super chat goals, which I thought was a great way to use the super chat, because, and again, like super chat goals and super chats not required or anything like that. It's just something that, if you can and you want to support the channel financially, it helps me get closer to realizing that dream of doing this for a living, which would be amazing. I'd be able to dump even more time into it. But I figured rather than just, trying to entice you with another stream here on YouTube, I would do something that we can't do on YouTube. So moving forward, most of those super chat goals are going to be, a mixtape listening party or something like a public watch party, something like that. So, and it looks like maybe we've got a new member. There you go. Des signed up, and let's see here. Sit Maum. I'm not sure who that is. Let me know who that is. But we got Night of the Living Des in there, and then we got Visit Maum. That's what I'll call you now. Visit Maum. So a couple new channel server members over there on Discord, which is very exciting. Hell yeah! Thank you guys so much. Gosh, can you tell I'm still trying to wake up? Okay, and then let's move on over to the spooky season merch, guys. So let's see here. Let me go on over there. Okay, guys. So spooky season merch has arrived on the Fourth Wall Shop. Link is in the description below. In fact, I think what I'll do, guys, is I'm going to pin the link right into the chat. Let me see here. Spooky season merch. Okay. There we are. I'm going to pin that. And guys, there is a brand new discount code. You can see it in the little ticker down below. So spooky is the new discount code or promo code, 10% off. And we have a whole bunch of really fun merch here. I don't want to, turn every stream into half advertisement, but I spend a lot of time on this stuff. I just want you guys to know that it's there. Last night I was like, maybe I'll make some hoodies. And then I'm like, during the stream where we showed off the Halloween portal gear, which I'll show off to you guys really quick here in a sec. I was like, maybe I'll make some hoodies. And then late last night, I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to make a bunch of hoodies. So this isn't very organized yet, but I'll show you guys a whole bunch. Okay. So Crypt Keeper gear, guys. We've got a hello kitties, Crypt Keeper gear. And check that out, Eli. We've got the Tales from the Crypt Davey Deathray logo down there on the ass of the hoodies. Yes, guys, on the hoodies, we've got Davey Deathray right above your butt. Or if you're small and you want to pull that over your butt, then even cooler. I don't know what it is. I just like it there. I think middle of the back. I don't want it covered by the hood, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, we've got hoodies for all of these great Halloween spooky season designs. We've even got a mug there for the Crypt Keeper. Each mug has a Davey Deathray logo on the reverse side. So you got that spooky season Davey Deathray logo. And then even on the t-shirt there, you can see the Tales from the Crypt Davey Deathray logo on the left sleeve there. And then we've even got one, if you just like the regular spooky season with the skull logo, this is going to be the one that's on all the other hoodies. So you have a couple options with the Tales from the Crypt. Even got a couple koozies here for Oktoberfest 2025. So these are reversible, or you know, they've got a logo on each side there for Oktoberfest. Same thing with Drac with the I never drink wine. And then we've got the Davey Deathray logo on the reverse side. Guys, we've got aprons. So you could do a Tiffany, Barbie, eat your heart out apron. You could do Art the Clown, drop on by the Clown Cafe. There's an Oktoberfest hoodie even. Oh my gosh, there's just a regular Davey Deathray spooky season, hoodie there. Leatherface, Art the Clown, Chucky the Doll, Ghostface, Tiffany, Bub, friggin' Pumpkinhead, Billy the Puppet from Saw. All the hoodies in the friggin' world for you guys to choose from. We've even got the bigger boat hoodie with the Amity Davey Deathray logo there on the bottom. This one, I love the way this looks with that off-white. We even have a Leatherface Kiss the Cook apron. I put together a little spooky season sticker sheet, just $6. A little bit of fun if you just want to put a sticker on your water bottle or what have you. Guys, we even have a Hit the Bricks spooky season hoodie with Dorothy there on the back. And of course, the Hit the Bricks logo, with Jeffrey Daniel Phillips there saying Hit the Bricks, Dorothy. And then, of course, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Frankenstein Monster, Pinhead from Hellraiser, Freddy Krueger, Ash from the Evil Dead. Guys, there is something for everyone here on the shop. And I want to let you know the 10% spooky promo code is not going to last the entire spooky season. So if you're into this gear, you're going to want to jump on it now. Grab something while you can get it at the best price possible. I'm not going to say when I'm yanking that code off, but that code will go away at some point. We even have the Seal of Cult Corner approval there for the folks that are, I'm calling the channel member stuff Cult Corner. So even if you're not a channel member, you could still technically buy that shirt. And then the standard Cult Corner logo there as well. I know Jamie's a big fan of that. And then we've got some magnets, guys. Of course, you can see these snazzy hats. All the hats here are embroidered, so they're all stitched in. I really like that Michael Myers mask that was on the other page. So yeah, whole bunch of gear, new designs. I'm going to be rebranding the channel moving forward with the new designs. We even have Pumpkin King merch. That's right. Pumpkin King is the GOAT, inspired by Amanda there. So thank you so much. We got some new pint glasses, so you can get that bigger boat pint glass with the Amity logo there as well. Colt Corner pint glass. We got the Amity logo on hats. Guys, we have all sorts of really, really fun shit. So how about that? How about that? Okay, so enough shilling from me. Let's get to the really fun stuff here. So we're going to take a look at some of these photos. Let me do that, and let me do that. But I'm also going to do that. So there we go. We got some new Crystal Lake photos. I'm actually going to remove, let's see here. I'm going to go, there we go. Remove that tab so we can see everything. And then here we go, guys. This is a little news bits Davey here for you. All right, guys. So we've got some brand new pictures of the Crystal Lake TV show set here from Friday the 13th Archivist over on Instagram. Give them a follow if you haven't yet. I'm guessing this person works on the production because these pictures are very up close and personal, folks. So I think we've got about 10 pictures or so. Let's just go ahead and scroll on through. There's a few more that they've got listed or, included with this bunch on Instagram, but a couple of them are things we've already seen before. So I just went ahead and kind of trimmed the fat and brought on the new stuff. So we've got one of our docks here leading out to the, the titular Crystal Lake. There we are. So nice little shot of the lake, plenty of green algae, floating lily pads, what have you, out there on the lake. It looks beautiful out there. It looks very, very serene. Nothing bad could ever happen out here, right? No one would ever drown or take revenge for a drowning or anything, right? Then we've got another shot here of the just a different set of docks here. These, I know they're not the original docks that were there in the first film, but these look like they're right around that same area. Got to look very reminiscent to the docks from the original, but they definitely look, revamped and new. So, just another shot there of the lake. Coming up here, we've got, I believe in the last post I did, with the pictures from Friday the 13th Archivist, we were seeing this little flower bed and signpost under construction. So, and of course, for the folks watching after the fact, you're going to get a bigger version of this that you can take a better look at. But we've just got, it's a little directional signpost that just tells you how to get to each cabin, get to the restroom, showers, all that kind of fun stuff. So just wanted to show you guys that. And even though this one is something that we've seen before, we've got that sign, the signpost there in the foreground. We've got our hippy dippy love, joy, and peace cabin there that is all painted with this gorgeous mural. I think this looks great. Like, I love the production design and the set dressing, set design, everything that they've been doing here for the TV show. As far as the looks go, I'm really on board with, and I'm so hopeful that the story is going to be it doesn't have to necessarily knock my socks off, but the story's got to be good for this to really work. Even if the show looks great, I'm looking at you, Alien Earth. Even though the show looks great, the story has to match, in that quality for sure, for it to be a great experience overall. And then here we've got a shot. I don't know if this is from the hippy dippy cabin, just shooting out of the back here, but this is from within one of these cabins, just showing some of the nature. So yeah, just there, it's got that old timey look. You can see the cracks between the boards there, so bugs are able to get in. This is not your modern, comfy kind of cabin. This is your old school, roughing it kind of cabin that creaks when the wind blows and all that stuff. So we got a really nice shot there. And yeah, this person must be part of the production. I don't know who they are. I just only know them from Instagram here, but I'm very happy for just all of the pictures they've been able to provide. So here's the mural cabin before the painting, right? You can tell because that flower bed's there in the foreground to the left. We can go back. So yeah, it's the same cabin. This is just the after. This is the before there as well. Inside one of these cabins here, we've got some items you may recognize. There's the infamous yellow rain jacket. It looks very similar to what Alice wears in the, original film. So I don't expect Alice to be in this TV show because it takes place before all of that stuff. But a nice little nod there to the OG. And then, of course, we've got just your regular, floating donuts or rescue lifesavers, I guess you could call them. And some boats, some snowshoes back there as well. Interesting. Do they do winter camp at Crystal Lake? Do they do that? I mean, I would imagine it snows there, but I don't know. Then we got another shot here of one of the cabins. So this looks like where some of the kitties are staying there. And I believe, let's see here, you could even see there's an arrowhead there on the rafter. Let me see if I can grab, I think I've got an image of that close up. So let me see if I can grab that really quick. Let's see what we've got here. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second and I'll be able to add this one. There we go. Okay. So yeah, Shinnecock, I think is how you say that. I think that's what we're seeing here. just zoomed in there above the doorway, or yeah, above the door on the cross beam there. Shinnecock. All right, so that's the name of this cabin. So there we go, confirmation. And then we've got to look inside the cabin as well. So yeah, very rustic, very old school, very 70s, summer camp for sure. So a nice little shot there of just the camper's gear. Hopefully some of these kids make it out. Hopefully they get to go home after summer camp there. And then here's a shot that we kind of saw previously. It was much more it was much further away, so now you can see the aquatic staff all listed there. Then we've got the sign above that says thank God it floats. I don't know, is that, oh, that's the TGIF that they're doing there. Okay, gotcha. Thank God it floats. So there we go. Yeah, we already have confirmation that this takes place in 1971. They've got the staff right there. So we know that we could make a jump at some point 10 years and we could have movies that are still taking place in the early 80s. So I think that's a really nice fit. I think Jason kind of belongs in the early 80s. It's just a good spot for him aesthetically, and it just sort of fits the whole camp slasher vibe. So I like that they're peeling back and going, back to the beginning, sort of realigning the timetable here, having Jason be a kid in the early 70s as opposed to the late 50s. So I don't mind that they're shifting everything, because this is, them rebuilding the foundation of the Friday the 13th franchise as a launch pad moving forward to maybe a few seasons of the show and hopefully some movies after that, guys. So yeah, that's what we've got from Friday the 13th Archivist over on Instagram. Let me know what you guys think of these pictures in the live chat. If you're watching after the fact, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, because we're going to be covering all the Friday the 13th news, whether it's Jason Universe or Crystal Lake. All of that's going to be covered here right on the channel, and we're doing the same thing with all of the other, major horror franchises. Yes, but pretty much any horror news that's interesting to me or might be interesting to you guys, we're going to cover that right here on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, and you won't miss a thing. Okay, guys, let me hop on over and see what you all are thinking about this. Bring up that banner, and then I swear we're going to get to Decades of Dread, guys. I know we've been talking for a half hour here so far. And we got Evil Alex has joined us over here. How you doing, Evil Alex? We've got Sam from Our Life in Horror, one of our great channel members. Welcome on in, Sam. Sam, this is day 28 of no alcohol. How about that? Yeah, we got some booty print. I didn't even think to check on you guys with the all the merch here. Let's see here. Eli says that's dope as fuck. There we go. Amanda says that came out so good. And guys, I've got with the, I went with the orange for spooky season, but I've got for the Tales from the Crypt Davey logo, I've got green, red, the orange that you saw, and then I've also got a purple, and they all have like the cracks in them. It was sort of, it might be tough to see on the, when I share my screen, but if you go over to the shop, you can zoom in on that. There's, it sort of looks like they're made out of stone, the lettering there. So really, really fun stuff over there on the, or in the Fourth Wall shop. Let's see who else we got going on here. We got Jeff Overing. How are you doing, Jeff? So good to see you. Welcome on in. I wonder if Jason's dad will be introduced in the Crystal Lake show. It would be interesting if he is introduced. I hope not. I'm kind of like, I don't need what is it, Elias? I don't need him. We've done fine without Jason's dad. I think all that does is add unnecessary lore. I think it doesn't really matter who's Jason's dad is, because he's not really been a part of the story up to this point. So yeah, gives me old school vibes. Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely, Aaron. What's happening, Antonis? So good to see you. Yeah, shiny cock, says Daz. How are you doing, Daz? Welcome on in. Let's see. They're just asking for roasting, having cock in the name of a cabin. Yeah, Shinnecock, I think is how you say it. Yeah, it's like the shuttlecock in badminton. Like, you're having kids in school say shuttlecock. I think Jason is already dead in the TV show's main timeline. I don't think so, because a little kid has been cast as Jason. I guess maybe it could all be shown in flashback, but remember, guys, we've seen those pictures of the you know, the banner that's talking about the Founders Day for Crystal Lake. There's a Founders Day celebration. There's going to be fireworks, a Ferris wheel at the lake and everything like that. I think in the first episode, everyone gets welcome to camp. They do a Founders Day celebration, and Jason drowns during the celebration. That's what I think. I think all the camp counselors, maybe the kids aren't even there yet. Maybe it's just the counselors are there. There's a big celebration for the whole entire town. Imagine fireworks going off. All of the counselors are making out or doing it somewhere. And everyone's, you know, watching and listening to the fireworks and the music and the Ferris wheel and just sucked into the moment. And Jason falls into the lake. He's too far away from everyone. He was with or near the counselors. No one can hear his cries for help because of the fireworks, because of the music, because of all the fun and all the sounds from the crowd. Like, imagine that. You could cut that together really nicely, a back and forth, you know, showing like the madness. Maybe Pamela starts to, maybe she thinks she hears him. Maybe by the time she's running up to him, it's too late and he's going into the water for after his last breath. I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker, but I know what would look cool to me as an audience member. And I think that's a great way to put us into Pamela's shoes, because I think that's what the main goal should be for this TV series, or at least this season, is put us in Pamela's shoes, make her feel the love for Jason that she has, make her feel the dread when she loses him, the you know, crushing loss, and then the desire for revenge. Put us there. That's what I think the show should be doing in this first, you know, season here. Yep, it's me 28 days later, or 28 days starring Sandra Bullock, which I think is about recovery. Yes, Evil Alex, the 1971, the picture that we showed there says 1971. So that's when the TV show, that's the summer that the TV show takes place. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on here. My own theory was always that it was Pam herself getting busy when Jason drowned. Well, my theory is that she let him drown. That's my theory. I don't think that they're going to do that in this TV show. But based on the very first film, if what Pamela is seeing in her head when we're seeing that flashback, if that's a flashback and not just her imagining what it might have been like, then she saw him drowning and he was asking her for help and she didn't do anything. So that's been my fan theory for the last 3 years, is that she let him drown, and that a way to deal with that is she had a psychotic break, right? So she's got psychosis. She deals with her guilt and her grief by saying that it was actually the fault of the counselors, when in fact she could have done something to prevent his death. Saw it in the theater. There you go. Yeah, I missed that one. Sandra Bullock, I don't know. She doesn't do it for me as a performer. She's all right. She's all right. Don't get me wrong. Miss Congeniality's fun, but mostly because of William Shatner, aka Michael Myers' face. Okay, guys, really quick. I did an unboxing last night. I know a lot of you guys were there. For those of you who weren't, you know, we've been covering the Halloween video game here on the channel. After my very first post, I got a message on Twitter, X, you know, from Halloween Movies, which is the official Trancas, Compass International, and Halloween Portal, you know, Twitter X account. They sent me a message and they're like, "Hey, Davey, we saw that you posted about the game. Send us a DM." So I sent a DM and I'm like, "What's going on?" Hoping that I'm not in trouble. And they're like, "Hey, we want to thank you for the coverage. Keep on doing what you're doing. And what's your t-shirt size and address, because we'd like to send you some gear." And I was like, all right, this doesn't sound like a catfish. They have over 500,000 followers on Twitter. So I'm like, okay, I think I can trust these guys. And yesterday I got a box in the mail. So we've got an awesome Halloween Portal shirt here. Pretty snazzy. Nothing on the back, but that's fine with me. And they even sent me this flex fit. So it looks like a pro fitted hat, but it's a flex fit Halloween Portal hat as well. There you go. Get a good look at that. And they sent me this sweet little card here. Let me see if I can hold that steadily, even though I've got like caffeine hands here. There we go. It says, Davey Deathray, thanks for being a real Halloween fan. There is much more to come. Stay tuned. The Halloween portal. So really, really cool. I got to get this sucker laminated. You can tell it's a nice card stock there. But extra shout out to the folks over at Halloween Movies and the Halloween portal for sending that gear on over. That's pretty awesome for them to do, and very humbling and flattering that they even saw my post. I think I might have tagged them in a picture. I didn't even know if they were like connected at that point. But you know, for this channel, we don't even have 2,000 subs, but I believe we were the first channel to cover the website for the Halloween video game. So that's a little feather we can put in our cap here. Thanks to Eli Cortez, who shared the website with me and was like, dude, you should cover this because no one else has covered the actual site yet. So, you know, just a little shout out there to Eli as well. But okay, guys, now we got to get to the main crux of the stream here. Decades of Dread Part 2, guys. Okay. And this is where the fun really starts on the stream for all you folks that might be new. You know, because I love having you guys kind of push the discussion and help move the conversation here. So, you know, last week we tackled the 60s, 70s, and 80s as far as like, you know, movies we loved, the tropes, the themes, just everything about those decades that made them feel or gave them that unique feel. And then, you know, talking about the evolution of horror from the 60s through the 80s, you know, how horror changed and all that. So let's go ahead and get this one going. Let's start talking about the 90s, guys. Horror in the 90s. And speaking of which, I'm going to close out this poll here. Thank you so much to everyone that voted in the poll. We had 34 votes. Which 90s horror icon defined the decade? Ghostface wins with 73%. Chucky's got 14% in second place. Candyman with 8% in third. And The Lowly Fisherman from I Know What You Did Last Summer, just 2% of the votes. So yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Ghostface is the icon that really, you know, defines the 90s, because Ghostface kind of brought the slasher subgenre back, you know. So I'm right there with you guys. Looks like we got John Doe Juggalo in the chat. What's happening, Jeff? So great to see ya. Hope you are doing well. And thank you so much, Gina. Yeah, guys, make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. I did get a new haircut, but I'm covering it up with my hat because it's spooky season. So you guys might see me wearing my spooky hats a little bit more during this time of year. So you're just going to have to deal with it. How about that? Let's see here. So yeah, guys, 90s horror movies. Now, I mean, obviously, let's go back before Scream, because Scream is the one that we always think about when we think about 90s horror. But let's go to early 90s here, because we've got, you know, I believe, what was it? Child's Play 2, is that 1990, I think? And then we've got movies like Candyman, which is like this sexy, there's a little bit of a sexy thing going on with some of the 90s horror films, you know, especially the newer properties. The older properties like Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween's sort of having some weird, you know, entries here in the 90s. You know, but there were, yeah, franchises like Candyman or even Leprechaun launched in the 90s as well. So, you know, Scream is the obvious one. And then the late 90s, we saw that teen slasher kind of come back with not only Scream, but I Know What You Did Last Summer, you know, The Faculty. I think it must have been 2000 though by the time Final Destination actually came out, but they probably shot that in the late 90s. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Let me know, what are some of the things that, you know, for you folks that are, you know, watching live in the chat, and for you folks that are watching after the fact, let me know in the comments, what are some of the, you know, movies, tropes, or thematic elements that you notice specifically in movies from the 90s? You know, of course, there's the fashion and everything like that, but I do think there was, especially in the early 90s, there was a little bit of that kind of sexy thriller sort of thing getting mixed in. I just think specifically of Candyman, You know, it's got these elements kind of like Basic Instinct or Sliver or Fatal Attraction, where there is this like almost like romantic or sexual tension between the villain and the final girl. I mean, especially in Candyman, obviously, but I noticed it in other 90s films as well. But let me know what some of your favorite 90s horrors are, guys, and we'll get this conversation going. I'm just gonna have a sip of water here. Evil Alex says, as slashers, I prefer Child's Play 2 and Candyman over Scream. All right, fair enough, man. Fair enough. Early 90s, People Under the Stairs. I may have seen that when I was a kid. I don't know if I have, though. Was People Under the Stairs, was it a theatrical film? That's a Wes Craven movie, right? Isn't that a Wes Craven movie? Is it a Stephen King thing or not? I can't remember. Stephen King just has so many damn movies. Jamie Hart says, Cape Fear, I just rewatched it, and wow, it's amazing. I have not seen either version of Cape Fear. Because there was one, obviously, I think you're talking about the Robert De Niro one. With who is it? Is it Nick Nolte that's in there as well? And Juliette Lewis. But then what's the other? Robert Mitchum, I think, was in the original. I've never seen Cape Fear. But that was like a really cool, like mainstream, like thriller horror. I remember Cape Fear being a big deal. It was such a huge hit that like The Simpsons made fun of it on an episode with Sideshow Bob. That's basically just the retelling of Cape Fear, just with the roles, replaced by Simpsons characters. That's a really good one, Jamie. Cape Fear. I gotta see that. Gotta see that one. We got Daz saying Ravenous is an underseen gem. Gets a bit too preachy, forcing its message near the end, but overall a solid 90s film. Yeah, that is a good one. That is that was 90s, huh? It must have been late 90s, because that's got Guy Pearce is in that one, right? Ravenous. Who else is in that movie? I know the creepy principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Whatever his name was, Jeffrey something. Creepy pedo guy. Ravenous is good. That's another one of those kind of, I know what you're saying there, Daz, that it's sort of underseen. I think I saw that one back in like 01, something like that. I enjoyed Ravenous. Yeah. Nice little, late 1800s cannibal movie taking place on the trails there and somewhere in the middle of America. Pacific Heights, everyone forgets that. I've never seen this movie. I don't even know if I've heard of this movie, Jamie, unless you've brought it up before. What is Pacific Heights about? Tell me. Tell me everything. Eli Cortez says Jacob's Ladder is a great 90s horror movie. It has such an amazing atmosphere. Yeah, that's the one with Timothy Robbins, right? And he's got like it's kind of a mindfuck movie, isn't it? About dealing with post-traumatic stress from war. Kind of a fever dream of a movie too, with a heck of a twist. What a twist. Let's see what else we got here. Early 90s is Candyman, Dr. Giggles, Leprechaun, and Hellraiser 3. So I haven't seen Dr. Giggles. I've seen all of those other movies. Yes, Candyman. I need to go back and revisit Candyman because it's been a while since I've seen that one. Leprechaun, I think, is a lot of fun. Jennifer Aniston is just so charming. Hellraiser 3, I think, is low-key pretty damn good. I like Hellraiser 3. I might like it more than the second movie, because even though the second movie I think is like better made, I don't know if I'm really into the whole surreal dreamscape feel of the second movie. I think I like the more straightforward, dark, gritty, rainy look and feel of Hellraiser 3, which is a pretty damn solid entry in that franchise, if I do say so my damn self. Dr. Giggles, I gotta check that one out. Because I know the actor, he was in like LA Law. He played the creepy Santa in the very first Tales from the Crypt episode, all that kind of fun stuff. I would love to see him play a sadistic doctor. Dr. Giggles. Arachnophobia, that is a movie I was obsessed with as a kid. I think, that's 90 or 91, I think. Jeff Daniels. Really frightening, great work by the crew that were the spider wranglers there in Arachnophobia. Guys, I'm like obsessed with spiders, so I'm like fascinated by them, but also kind of frightened by them at the same time. And I love Arachnophobia. Kind of has a little bit of a Jaws feel, you know, a little bit. It's more comedic for sure. But I like Arachnophobia. John Goodman in there, really good shit. Is it Julian Sands that plays like the scientist at the beginning? I think it might be. Who was in Warlock, which is another great 90s horror film. It's got that 90s feel. There, you know, a lot of stark, bright whites and deep blacks in 90s horror, especially early 90s horror. You know, they weren't afraid to be bright. Like, I think there's a lot of brightness in Candyman, a lot of brightness in a movie like Warlock. Phantoms, oh my gosh. I only saw that movie once. I wasn't a fan of Phantoms. I wasn't a phantom. But I don't know. Is it something that's aged better since then? It just seems like a, you know, kind of a cash grab creature feature sort of thing. There was like Mimic and Phantoms that came out like the same year, you know, right after, right around Scream 2. That must have been 97 or 98 when those came out, something like that. In the Mouth of Madness, Evil Alex brings up. That's a really trippy movie. Great John Carpenter movie that doesn't, I mean, it gets talked about by the hardcore fans. I just don't think it gets talked about enough in general. Talk about a mindfuck movie. That's a really cool, dreamy, different kind, almost like a little bit of a European Italian feel to some of the dreaminess that's in there. Sam Neill is great. You've got, what's his name? What's the guy's name? Is it Ugo Kier or something like that? Who's the guy from Das Boot that's in this? That's in the Mouth of Madness. I always forget the guy's name, but he's great as well. Yeah, that movie is really damn impressive. I really dig that one. Jamie loves Phantoms. Okay, so maybe I'm missing out on Phantoms. Sixth Sense, I guess it's horror. I don't know. I'm gonna push back on that one, Evil Alex. I'm gonna say The Sixth Sense is a supernatural drama. I don't think there's anything really scary in The Sixth Sense. I don't think it fits horror quite the way the others do. Misery, yeah, James Caan, Kathy Bates, frightening. Everyone's worst nightmare, right? Being helped by a super fan that ends up just torturing the shit out of you. Oh, is that what my future holds for me here on YouTube? I guess I better look out. People are sending me stuff and giving me gifts. I don't know. Maybe it could happen someday. Maybe it could. Wake up with my arms and legs tied to my bed or something like that. King Matthew III says, Urban Legend is another film that I watched for the very first time yesterday. It's a great 90s slasher film as well. I think the first Urban Legend is pretty damn fun. And it's a movie that knows what it is. It's not trying to outdo Scream. It's just trying to, like, it just wants to play along, you know? I think Urban Legend's pretty fun. And it's got, you know, Michael Rosenbaum. I love him as a performer. You got a really young Jared Leto there as well. You know, Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek, of course. Alicia Witt is in there. We've got the Noxzema girl. I always forget Rebecca Gayheart. She's awesome. Yeah. Danielle Harris is in the original Urban Legend. Sorry. Tara Reid. She's pretty funny in that one. I've never been like too big of a Tara Reid fan, but she's got it's a good role for her there. Just like when her and Josie and the Pussycats, I think she's like very well cast for that specific role. Yeah, but Urban Legend is pretty awesome. Robert Englund has a nice cameo in there as well. Yeah, Urban Legend is fun. I mean, it's a stacked cast. Brad Dourif in the opening. Come on. Really, really good shit. And Evil Alex is just dropping the bombs here. The Others is great. What a twist in that one as well. I think The Others was either nominated or won some Academy Awards as well. I did not see the ending coming. And I loved just the mood and atmosphere of the movie was great. Yeah, The Others is, don't sleep on The Others for sure. Wes Craven did do People Under the Stairs. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. If I saw it, I've forgotten it, so I might as well have never seen it for sure. From Dusk Till Dawn, yes. Yes, Evil Alex. Talk about a sexy 90s horror film. And it's got that kind of Dawn of the Dead feel. You know, there's something comic booky about it. I love the pulpy kind of elements of the gore, the kind of campiness, but also it really does feel like you're flipping through the pages of like, you know, Vault of Horror, like one of those EC comics, Tales from the Crypt or whatever. There's no real like tales of morality necessarily, but it just has this really fun, over the top kind of vibe, a shitload of nudity, terribly awful language, but in a very fun way. I mean, Cheech Marin has like 3 memorable performances in that movie. One of my favorite lines at the end of the movie is when he's like, what were they, psychos or something? And George Clooney just punches him. Or no, he punched him, or yeah, he punches him after that or before. He's like, no, psychos don't explode when sunlight hits them. I don't give a fuck how crazy they are. Yeah, love From Dusk Till Dawn so damn much. The Salma Hayek dance, oh my goodness. Another Juliette Lewis appearance here in the conversation. Cape Fear from Dusk Till Dawn. There she is, getting a little love. Harvey Keitel, Danny Trejo, Tom Savini. You've got what's his face, the original Shaft, Richard Roundtree, or no, not Richard Round. He's not the original Shaft. He's in a bunch of those blaxploitation movies though. Why can't I think of his name right now? Guys, help me out. I don't know why I always think he's Shaft. I don't know why. What is his name? From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm going to look it up now because it's driving me crazy. Because I usually have got... I can usually remember this guy. Oh my God, come on. You've got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, IMDb. Fred Williamson. I knew it was, oh my gosh. I was like, something Ferguson? Fred Williamson, guys. Oh my God. So good. So good in From Dusk Till Dawn. Love that movie. The intro to the movie, you get the, you know, Sheriff Earl McGraw, which I believe was brought into Planet Terror, I think. And was he in Kill Bill as well? Earl McGraw? Love that actor. Rest in peace. Yeah. Great opening to that flick. Really good music. I love the band in From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah. Tremors. Oh yeah. Well, you know I love Tremors, right? Blu-ray Addict. We just hosted a watch party, a few weeks ago on Tremors. Classic 1990 flick. Man, I remember that just being all the buzz when it came out on VHS when I was a kid. My brother Rob was like in love with that movie when it first came out. Yeah, Tremors, a great ode to the Roger Corman creature features of the 50s and 60s. I mean, not just Roger Corman, but it certainly has that feel, kind of like a drive-in movie kind of feel, mixed with that Jaws kind of adventure element, and just really fun. There's something about Tremors where it could have taken itself too seriously and just been like hokey and dumb, but it's got this perfect amount of fun mixed in with all of the ingredients. It's just a perfect balance. You know, Tremors there's nothing wrong with that movie. It is a perfect movie. And I'm not saying it's like the best that cinema has to offer, but it is a perfect movie. That's for damn sure. Eli says the remake of House on Haunted Hill is a fun watch. Yeah, is that 99? Is that when that one came out? I love that movie. I know that some people aren't the biggest fan of the House on Haunted Hill remake. I think it's a lot of fun. You have Bridget Wilson from Mortal Kombat, and Billy Madison is in there. Chris Kattan, Taye Diggs, Jeffrey Rush, Famke Janssen, amongst others. I'm sure there's a couple other names that I'm missing here, just off the top of my head. But that movie, I saw it in the theater, and it genuinely freaked the hell out of me as a 17-year-old, 16 or 17, depending on what month it came out. Yeah. House on Haunted Hill freaked me out. Ravenous was 99. There you go. Okay. Yeah, John Carpenter's Vampires, another fun, like tongue-in-cheek desert, kind of campy little horror flick. And I think I just mean campy as far as like the way that James Woods plays the character. He's got a little bit of Ash, from Evil Dead, a little bit of Snake Plissken in him, but he is his own like unique kind of thing. And I really love James Woods as an actor. I think he's a great performer. So I love seeing him in this role where he just gets to be smarmy. I really dig it. And I think Vampires also has what's her face? She played Laura Palmer in Twin Peaks. Why can't I think of her name right now? What is it? It's not Sherilyn Finn, but it's Sherry something. All the actresses have like the same name in Twin Peaks. I'm just joking. But she's in there as well. And the main vampire in Vampires, it's been a while since I've seen it. That's one I want to revisit this spooky season, because I see a lot of people covering it on YouTube, and I'm like, I don't think I've seen it since it came out on like DVD. So definitely need to check out John Carpenter's Vampires. I've heard really good things about his Village of the Damned as well. I've never seen that one. That's got Christopher Reeve is in that one. The Ice Cream Man, 1995, is another great underrated horror film. Is that the one with Clint Howard? King Matthew? Let me know. Pacific Heights, starring Melanie Griffith, Matthew Modine, and Michael Keaton. Yeah, I don't know about that one. I really don't know. Oh my God, Evil Alex, Exorcist 3. When that movie was being advertised on television, the imagery and the music gave me nightmares. Just that. I didn't even have to see the movie as a kid for it to scare the shit out of me, and it prevented me from sleeping. I had to like call my mom into the bedroom to calm me down. That's how scary those trailers were to me as a little third grader. Great film though. Great film. No matter which version you end up watching. I think The Haunting was fun with Liam Neeson, and Owen Wilson is in there as well. A couple other bigger names also. I thought The Haunting was fun, but it was a bit softer. Like, I liked that the House on Haunted Hill really went for it, with the more of the body horror and just a little more demented, especially that beginning when all the patients like revolt and you get to see like what happened in the house that like created the haunting. Really dig that. Oh yeah, Stir of Echoes. I mean, now we're on the Kevin Bacon train with Tremors and Stir of Echoes. Far better than The Sixth Sense and an actual horror movie, whereas I don't think The Sixth Sense is a horror movie. I like, what is horrific about The Sixth Sense? Like I don't know. I don't think there's anything horrific. Stir of Echoes, plenty of horror there. The breaking of nails, everything that those two boys do to that young woman that you just see kind of get slowly unveiled as you go through the film. I love Stir of Echoes. Bought it on VHS when I was in high school. Wore out that tape. I probably watched it every weekend for weeks in a row. It was a big movie that my friends and I really enjoyed at that time. And based on an awesome Richard Matheson book from, I think, 1954, something like that. So the story predates The Sixth Sense by about 4 decades. Let's see here. Love Stephen King's TV movie, The Night Flyer. Never saw this one. I think that's a vampire movie though, right, Eli? I never saw that one. His TV movies, I'm very lukewarm. I'm very hesitant to spend any time watching Stephen King adaptations, especially the TV versions. I don't know what it is. Stephen King, he's sort of like Radio Silence with me, where he resonates a little bit. Very rarely for me does he get above like a B-. I don't know. I don't know what it is. What's happening, B-Dubs Movie Hub? Welcome on in. Welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. We are talking decades of dread. So we're talking 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s horror here. This is part 2. Part 1, we covered 60s, 70s, and 80s. There, B-Dubs Movie Hub. So let me know some of the movies that you're into from the decade. Idle Hands. That's a fun one. That's a nice, fun little Evil Dead 2 kind of take. Pacific Heights is good, and so is Unlawful Entry. I remember hearing about Unlawful Entry. I haven't seen either of those, though. Stigmata, that's a good religious horror. Got Gabriel Byrne and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Right. That's the movie, right? Stigmata. Oh no, End of Days is the one I'm thinking. Stigmata though, does that have Gabriel Byrne in it as well? Why am I getting confused on this one? Stigmata. It does have Gabriel Byrne and Patricia Arquette. Okay. So what's the one? So wait, the one I'm thinking, End of Days, is that Gabriel Byrne as well? It is Gabriel Byrne. So does he play the devil in both of these movies? Oh my gosh, Gabriel Byrne, what are you doing? Are you playing the devil? Oh no, he plays Father Andrew Kieran. Okay, so he gets to flip. He gets to play a priest in one and then the devil in another. There we go. Wow, talk about Mandela effect, Jamie. I just blended Stigmata and End of Days together. Wishmaster is another one I've got to watch sometime soon. Yeah. Of course. And then Evil Alex probably thought of End of Days because of Stigmata, I would imagine. Maybe. Yeah, Sleepy Hollow's fun, guys. I saw that one in the theater as well. Last year, it was part of my Johnny Depp Gothic trilogy that I watched. So I watched Sleepy Hollow. I watched From Hell. I don't know why it took me forever to think of that title. So Sleepy Hollow, From Hell, and then Sweeney Todd. So I did my Gothic Johnny Depp trilogy for last year's spooky season. So I won't be doing that again this season. Or this year, maybe in a couple years, I'll be revisiting those, but not this year here. Let's see what else we got. We might need to sort of shift over to the 2000s here. Let me see if I've got a poll for you. Let's see here. I'm looking at my poll options, and I don't know if I'm really loving any of these. Here's a good one. This sort of leads more into the 2010s and 2020s, but I'm going to get a poll going here in the chat for you guys, so just bear with me. For whatever reason, my mouse doesn't want to cooperate. Oh my goodness. Come on, bud. Come on, bud. Here we go. So I'm just going to get this one going. Talk amongst yourselves. And here we go. Oh my goodness, there we are. This is the fun part of the live experience where I just get to enter a poll and I don't have a co-host, to talk to you guys while I do that. All right, there we go. We got a brand new poll in the chat. Best streaming era horror series. So we got The Haunting of Hill House, Chucky, Fear Street, and Midnight Mass. How about it? And I guess, with Fear Street, because it's a series, what do they have? 4 movies now, I think, in Fear Street. So I'm going to count that as a series because that's basically like a couple seasons of a TV show. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump on back over to you guys. Let's talk. Let's go ahead and jump into the 2000s. What's happening, Gory Tiger? So great to see you. So great to see you. Night of the Demons 2, Return of the Living Dead 3. Those are fun stuff as well. Night of the Demons 2 is hilarious. Demon Knight is great, Eli. I love Demon Knight. I even have fun with, Bordello of Blood. Jürgen Prochnow. Okay. Oh, Udo Kier is yeah, there we go. And I think Udo Kier is the guy he is in Ace Ventura Pet Detective, right? He's the one that hosts the really nice party in Ace Ventura Pet Detective. That's too funny. The Others is 2001. Okay, so we've already covered The Others, moving into the aughts. So yeah, Decades of Dread, we're talking the 2000s now. So shift out of the 90s. We've covered all that. You're right, Jamie. Yeah, he plays one of the French Canadians. You're absolutely right. I love that guy as a performer. What's his name? It's Michael something. Why can't I think of his... A lot of names I'm trying to keep straight in my head on a day like today where we're talking about all of these different horror movies. The Prophecy, that's another good one from the 90s as well. Yeah, really, really fun stuff. Cheryl Lee, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Popcorn is so much damn fun. I love the movie Popcorn. I owned a copy on VHS back in the day, Aaron. Yeah, Popcorn's a really fun 90s whodunit slasher, whodunit revenge slasher. And it's got kind of a giallo vibe, It's got kind of an opera, stage fright kind of it's definitely like an ode to those kinds of movies for sure. Yeah. Chat, there's a lesser known 90s slasher film I can't think of. It seems like it had to do with shooting a horror film. I think, are you talking about the Australian film Cut with Molly Ringwald? Aaron, is that what you're talking about? It might be Cut. It just might be. Okay. Let's see what you guys are saying for 03. Yes, it is the era of the remake craze, guys. So that's sort of like what I think of. You know, I know there are newer characters and all that kind of stuff too, and we got some sequels to you know, some of the franchises that were introduced in the 90s, and of course some of the big three make their appearance, or you know, reappearances as well. But man, the 2000s, I mean, we've got what, TCM 03, Dawn of the Dead 04, Halloween 07, Friday the 13th 09. So that's a good handful of remakes there. And then even Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is 09 as well. I really love that film. So I sort of think of the 2000s as kind of like the era of the horror classics that I grew up with getting those remakes. And then, of course, there's the bleed over. The first few years of the 2000s have that teeny bopper 90s kind of, you know, horror vibe, you know, bleeding over into the next decade there. So, yeah, to me, and also, you know, the early 2000s, there's that, you know, budding filmmaker, you know, Rob Zombie coming out making movies. So, you know, House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects. I think he did both of those before Halloween, if I'm right. Or maybe not. Maybe Devil's Rejects was after. Maybe that was 2015. I know it's celebrating. I can't remember if it's celebrating. Oh, it must be 20 years. So yeah, I must be wrong. But House of a Thousand Corpses, I think that was before Halloween, right? Wasn't it? But yeah, this gritty, kind of grimy grindhouse feel sort of getting brought into these horror remakes. And then, of course, people like Zack Snyder, people that were making music videos and commercials, finally getting the opportunity to shoot feature films. Like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is one of the most beloved, you know, zombie films of all time. And that's an 04 release. So that fits here with the 2000s. But I'm going to jump in and see what you guys are saying. Real quick before I do that, I'm going to jump into the poll and check that out. So let me see here. We have 12 votes. Best streaming era horror series. Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass are tied with 33%. Chucky and Fear Street are tied for second with 17%. So we got the Mike Flanagan stuff in the lead here, tied for the lead. No surprises there at all. Let's see here. What else do we got? Aaron, did I get it right? No, but good effort. Huh. Well, Urban Legend Final Cut or whatever takes place on a, you know, on a film set. So there you go. You got that. Or are you thinking about Scream 3? Just joking. Let's see here. House of Thousand Corpses was 03. Okay. Doom, not a good movie, but it's super fun. Yeah, I think I've seen that one for shits and gigs. Yeah, not really my thing. I love the video games, though. Love them so much. Rob Zombie's 2000s output was great. Don't care about the Halloween haters. Yeah, I was never into his remake. Just doesn't seem like, I don't know. It's different, but it's also like, I think the best parts of it are the stuff that's just a remake of what Carpenter did already. So, but his sequel, love his sequel. Yes. Yeah. And like with Rob Zombie, it was, you know, really bringing in that uncomfortability for sure. And, you know, I think ultimately what I don't like about his remake, the 07 Halloween, is all the backstory stuff. I hate having Michael explained. It just doesn't sit well with me for whatever reason. But there are some really cool moments there. And I love, you know, seeing the Strodes seeing that whole scene with the Strodes where he breaks into the house, where he grabs the dad and you know, throws him in there. And that just feels very visceral and very real. I did quite enjoy that. But there's a lot in that movie that doesn't vibe with me. But man, that 09 sequel is just like my kind of different. It really is. I don't understand I think there are some people that have just like, they've either got their head in the sand about the '09 sequel, or they've just said they don't like it for so long that they can't go back anymore. I'm talking to all the Halloween purists out there that like, are you, I guess I have to ask to the purists, are you even a fan of the franchise? Like, I don't know. If you're going to call yourself a Halloween purist, then maybe you're just a fan of the first movie, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to act like you're a fan of the franchise, though, if you're just going to like shit on every single entry in the franchise that's not the first movie. That's not being a fan of the franchise. You're not showing the franchise like any grace or anything. You're maybe a fair weather fan, but if you're a purist, then I'm guessing you really only like the first movie. That's what that phrase or that name means to me when people say Halloween purists. So I would never consider myself a purist. I'm kind of all over the place with my ranking on these films. And I think the '09 Rob Zombie's H2 brings so much different to the table that it climbs above so many other films in my ranking. So I'm not going to talk about it all day, but I think I've got the RZH2 like 6th in my ranking, 6th or 7th. So it's not like, oh my God, I think this is the best, but I think it's better than, movies like H4 and H2O and of course Resurrection and the Rob Zombie's remake. I put it right there. But what the fuck do I know? I've got all the David Gordon Green movies in my top 5. So maybe I just have bad taste. I don't know. Amanda brings up Drag Me to Hell, really fun 2000s movie. I love that Sam Raimi Evil Dead 2 kind of vibe. The horror, but the horror that's got its tongue firmly placed in cheek and having a lot of fun and abusing our lead, similarly to what Ash goes through in the Evil Dead. I feel like what was her name? I can't remember the actress's name. Allison something. I don't know. I can't remember her name, but she just totally gets abused in that. Her character gets abused in that film. Really fun. I loved all the like the seance kind of stuff they're doing. They've really brought in a lot of that Evil Dead 2 vibe. I think that with like the goat or something like that kind of reminded me of the deer head from Evil Dead 2. Ooh, so Cabin Fever. I've never seen any of the Cabin Fever movies, guys. I don't know if are they worth watching? Cabin Fever? I don't know. It seems like they remade it really quick. Seemed kind of odd how quickly they remade Cabin Fever. Hostel, not my thing. I watched it in the theater and a little too torture porny for me on that one. Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I'll say that. It was fine. But certainly that's another thing too, though, is that, extreme body horror and the torture porn stuff started coming out in the 2000s as well, like Saw and all that kind of stuff. Sean Smith, one of our brand new channel members, jumps on in to say Saw. There it is. Yeah. Saw got its, 02? Is that how old Saw is? Is it that old? 2002? I've only seen like the first 3 movies in that franchise. It's not really my cup of tea, especially knowing that like, okay, I know how these movies go. I have to look for the twist in every single movie now. And so I kind of got exhausted with Saw a little bit very early on. An American Haunting, underrated gothic masterpiece. I have never seen An American Haunting. What year did that come out, Jamie? I'm guessing it's 2000s. I'm just curious to know what year. Yeah, The Mist is one of the better Stephen King adaptations for sure. Very strong Night of the Living Dead vibes with that whole like, humans split into different factions kind of thing. And the isolation of the store, very reminiscent of the isolation of the house in Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, Tom Jane's great in that movie. What's her, was it Marcia Gay Harden? Something like that. Really, really good as well. Total bitch. Great performance. You really believe it. We got Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Yes. I believe this one was shot in Oregon, in like Portland or Eugene. I remember this one being having a bit of a buzz when it came out. That documentary style slasher about a real upcoming slasher, but a slasher that, you know, exists in the world of like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and all that. Very, very interesting take on a horror for sure. Let's see here. What Lies Beneath 2000 with Harrison Ford is another good one. Yeah, it's a really good Zemeckis film that's a total ode and nod to the Hitchcockian kind of style. Yeah, What Lies Beneath. Good shit. Legion, you know, that's one I saw that one in the theater, Jamie. I didn't really dig it. I do think Paul Bettany is a really great actor, but I thought this movie, Legion, to me sort of had the feel of like a TV show. It just had a little bit of a lower production value kind of feel to me. I don't know what it is, but I do see what you're saying though. It is a nice little, like, it is kind of an isolation sort of bunker movie, you know. So it does have a little bit of that throwback to, you know, Night of the Living Dead, the similarities to stuff like The Mist. Yeah, for sure. Ooh, The Cell is a mind fuck of a movie. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez, Vincent D'Onofrio, Vince Vaughn. Is he in that movie too? I think so. That is like a nightmare. The Cell is like an absolute nightmare. Yeah, mindfuck nightmare movie. I think I saw that one in the theater too. Damn. Holy cow, people. We have 30 people hanging out with us here in the stream. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. And let me know what your favorite horror film was from the decade of the 2000s, the aughts. What you got for the aughts? Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers is okay. I never vibed with that franchise too much. To me, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a bug man. That's really what it is. Like, that first Jeepers Creepers just feels like TCM with a guy that's an insect, pretty much. That's the only like different, you know, thing that sets it apart, other than the horrific backstory and the director's personal life. 13 Ghosts goes without saying. That's another one of those fun remakes that we got, that you know, the William Castle remakes that, you know, got pushed into the 2000s. What, 13 Ghosts? It must be 01. I think that's when I saw it in the theater, right around there. Yeah, Matthew Lillard in there. Yeah, good shit. Let's see here. What else do we got going on? American Psycho. Is that 2000s? Or was that late 90s? I thought I saw American Psycho when I was in high school. It is the year 2000. So yes, it was my senior year. Okay. Yeah, American Psycho's friggin' amazing. I mean, it's like part horror. It's very dark comedy. I think you could just call it a dark comedy if you wanted to. Great performances from, you know, Christian Bale. Willem Dafoe is in there. You've got Reese Witherspoon is really good. Not only that, Justin Theroux, who I guess he still acts a little bit. He was in Beetlejuice, but he, you know, helped write a lot of those early Marvel movies. And then Josh Lucas, I think, is in American Psycho as well. Jared Leto getting another appearance here on the stream today. So there you go. Yeah, American Psycho, really, really good. Beautiful, beautiful film, for especially considering how dark the subject matter can get. Ooh, Joyride, that's one I never saw, King Matthew. A little bit of that kind of Hitcher sort of vibe there. And didn't the Hitcher get remade in the 2000s, or was it the 2010s? I don't know. Guys, we might have to tackle the 2010s and the 2020s in a part 3, because we're already getting close to an hour and a half. And I try to make my shows these days not much longer than an hour and a half. So we may let's just talk about the 2000s. Let's do a part 3 and talk 2010s and 2020s, because I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about the with the 2020s and the 2010s. They're more recent, so we're probably going to dive into, you know, all this Terrifier stuff and even more remakes, of course. J Beach says, I like Resurrection. There, I said it. Don't hate me. Hey, at least it's not Halloween 5. Those are both pretty low in my ranking for sure. I watch them every year. That's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Halloween purist and this movie's dog shit or whatever. They may very well be. I guess I would say that, yeah, Resurrection, you can call it dog shit. I won't be offended. But I still watch these every year. I'm just such a big fan of the franchise. It's just, I don't know what it is. I may not watch Jason X or Jason Goes to Hell every year, but all the Halloween movies get at least one watch from me every single year. Now, maybe I'll put the commentary on for Resurrection. Maybe that'll help it be a little more palatable for me. But yeah, I'm a tried and true Halloween fan, guys. I'm not one of these, pick and choose and only like the first one and act like the other ones are offensive or, no. I like when different things are tried in these franchises. I like when they take swings. Not every swing needs to hit. If you're batting 300 gets you into the Hall of Fame, and Babe Ruth struck out more than he hit home runs. So what do people remember him for, right? What do they remember him for? So that's kind of how I feel about some of our horror franchises. There you go. You got people that like Halloween 5. My guy Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, it's one of his favorites in the franchise. And he has a very legitimate reasons for that. He's able to articulate it very well, which, I always say here on the channel, maybe for some of you folks that are new, it just bears repeating. Whether or not you like a movie or hate a movie or love a movie, to me, I think what's more important is, can you articulate why? It can't just be like, oh, I just don't like it because of like this feeling or whatever. Like, as audiences, we should be able to articulate why we feel certain way about a movie or what works or what doesn't work for us. To be able to articulate that makes us better audience members moving forward. It helps us understand each other. It might even help somebody, I don't know, realize what you like about a movie and maybe see the movie a little differently. So like for you guys, Jay Beach, and for Daz, to be able to, I'm not saying you have to do that right now. I get it. We're in a chat. We're just like hanging out, but it's just one of those interesting things that's like, oh, wow, maybe I could bring somebody on over, like about a year ago, I had reached out to Lee from Drum Dums and Nick from the Lost River Drive-In to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 last year. And, I reached out to them. I was like, I'm this tiny little channel. I had like 700 subs maybe at that time, maybe just 600. And I was like, I went out on a limb. Guys, I love this movie. I know you love this movie. I think it would be great to celebrate it in August for its 15th anniversary. I reached out in like April or May, guys, just to set this up. So any of you people that have channels or you're thinking of starting a channel, it's never too early to reach out to somebody to set something up, right? If you have an idea. And that was a whole stream where we got to go through and explain why that movie worked so well for us. I've seen people since that stream that were on that stream or in this community, a lot of people still, they liked the movie anyway. They liked it from the beginning, but I've seen other people since then that have been like, I gave it another shot because of that stream. And I like it. I get it more. I understand why you guys like it. And some of them are like kind of turned around on it. So it is really interesting. Like, if you can articulate it well and you can get people to see things from that perspective, that you can kind of, influence their experience, maybe not their opinion, but maybe you can influence that next experience. And there you go. I mean, Resurrection, what is that? 02, 03, something like that. Oh, is it 02? I think so. Session 9 is a great 2000s horror movie. Oh my God, guys, if you haven't seen Session 9, awesome mindfuck. Really, really good. Don't read anything about it. Don't get this movie spoiled. I don't even want to say anything else other than I highly recommend watching Session 9. I Always Know What You Did Last Summer is a decent film. Sure, it wasn't as good as the first two. You're the first person, Matthew, to say that it's decent. Everyone else I've ever heard talk about that movie, I've never seen it. I don't know if I'll ever watch I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. It just seems so far removed even from the first two movies because it's like a ghost supernatural kind of thing, even though Ben Willis would have been dead after the first movie anyways. But yeah, you're the first person I've ever heard say that. I don't know. Let me know, chat. What do you think? I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Should I watch it as a Davey Science Theater 3000? Should we watch I'll Always Know and make fun of it? First time watch, tear it apart. Maybe we could do something like that on the Discord. Could be fun. Welcome on back, Chester. Gina says, don't bother with Cabin Fever. Cabin Fever is a decent 2000s film. Avoid the sequels. All right. 30 Days of Night, so good. That is a fun one. Good old Alaskan vampire flick with our guy, Josh Hartnett. And then Who is the guy that plays the villain? I think he was the villain. I think he played Ares in the Wonder Woman movie. He was in Yellowstone. What's that guy's name? I think he was the villain in The Naked Gun. Why can't I think of his name? The newer Naked Gun, I mean. Let me look that up here. His name is like right on the tip of my tongue here. Not Paul Walter Hauser. Danny Houston. That's who it is. Danny Houston. Isn't he the main villain in 30 Days of Night, if I'm remembering correctly? Let me know, chat. Let me know. Red Dragon. I think Red Dragon's okay. I prefer Mindhunter from the 80s. Or Manhunter. Sorry, Mindhunter is the TV show. Manhunter with William Peterson from the 80s for sure. Saws 04. Okay. The Ring. Yes. Great PG-13 horror film. Great early 2000s film. Yeah, we had that whole J-horror remake craze. The Grudge. One Missed Call. All that kind of stuff as well. House of Wax. There you go. That's a remake I've never seen, but I've heard really good things about. So I've never watched that. I think the 50s or 60s remake. Yeah. Early 2000s. Little Paris Hilton action there. Requiem for a Dream is a real horror movie. Yeah, I mean, it's a drama. There are things in there that are horrific. I don't think it's a horror movie, Eli. I'll push back a little bit. There's definitely things that make you feel very, very uncomfortable in Requiem for a Dream, but I think it is ultimately a drama. I would say as far as Darren Aronofsky goes, Black Swan is probably more of a horror movie. I don't think he ever really leans all the way into that, though, into the horror, unfortunately. Let the Right One In. Yeah, Let the Right One In, Let Me In. I've seen both of those. I think I prefer the original, but I think they were both directed by the same person. That'd be an interesting task. Make a movie and then go make a different version of the same movie, just in another language. Kind of odd, right? I don't know if I would want to do that, although, hey, if the paycheck is there and all you have to do is kind of go through the motions to, take it to the next level, or take it to that language, and just, you don't really have to change much, right? Let's see here. What do we got? Secret Window 04 with Johnny Depp. Is it a horror movie? I've never seen Secret Window. To me, it just seems like a ripoff of The Dark Half, or just another telling of The Dark Half, the Romero, Timothy Dutton movie. Dutton or Hutton? Timothy Dutton? Is that his name? I think so. Now I'm getting so confused. I've said so many different actors' names. Dog Soldiers is pretty fun. Yeah, Neil Marshall, right? I would say even better, The Descent, his next movie. I think that's his next movie. I love The Descent. The claustrophobia, on rewatch, The Descent to me gets better and better. Being able to, you spot the little creatures in the background so much more the more you rewatch that movie. Love the original The Descent. Sequel, not a fan, but apparently they're working on a prequel that shows like the group of miners that went down there that we see some remnants of. But I mean, there's like bones all over the place. So I guess with the Descent world, you could tell a shitload of prequels if you wanted to. Ginger Snaps, that's a movie I've never seen, and I keep on meaning to check that one out. Is that the one about the werewolf? I think, right? Chicks that turn into werewolves. Okay, guys, let me see here. For some reason, American Psycho didn't appeal to me. Think of it as a comedy. Maybe it'll appeal a little bit more. The Hitcher 09. Okay, never seen the remake, seen the original. Really, really dig the original. It's like a Twilight Zone episode, just stretched out to a whole film length. And Rutger Hauer, man, really, really good shit. But yeah, never seen the remake there. Ghost Ship 02. There we go. Man, the opening of Ghost Ship is one of those famous ones, right? The ballroom dance scene. That's kind of like House on Haunted Hill 1999 had that really memorable opening scene with like the mass slaughter. Yeah. Oh, Hitcher is 07. Okay. There we go. What are we talking about? Part 3. Part 3 is a must. I don't know what you're talking about, guys. Sorry. I must have missed that one. We did get The Mist. Speaking of Mist, welcome on in, Ryan. Insidious, is that 2000s or was that 2010s? Gosh, is Insidious that old? I guess it might have been. I don't know. I wish I knew the year of every movie there, guys. Insidious is 2010. So we'll talk about that next time around, Ryan. Very, very close, but we'll talk about it next time around. Okay, let me jump on back over to here. Trick or Treat, the anthology film from 07. Yeah, that's really fun. They need to, man, they should have had a handful of those movies for sure. House of the Devil, I think it's 09, with a wider release in 2010. Gotcha. Ooh, save some pizza for me, Jamie. Let me see what else we got. I think I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, and we will talk about the 2010s and the 2020s next time around for part 3. So, hey, not so bad that we can milk 3 episodes worth out of all this. So, I like that. I like that. Let's see here. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. There you go. Ryan's talking about The Descent. Love The Descent. Yes. B-Dubs Movie Hub. So good. Oh my gosh. The claustrophobia, the anticipation, the way with it's sort of like it's Jaws-like in that you don't get, you spend a lot of the movie building the tension, and then once you see the villain of the piece, it's so well worth it and so satisfying and awesome. Yeah. Highly recommend The Descent. So good. So much damn fun. 1408 is a good movie. Is that 2000s or is that 2010s? That was a good one. Yeah. Jeff loves The Descent. Hell yeah. Let's see here. Oh, you guys are talking about the public. Yeah, no, we're not going to have, yeah, I'm not even going to talk, guys. Like, I think I'm just going to jump into the chat. I don't even know if I'll be on camera. It might just be my logo there because I think I have to present something other than my screen. But yeah, I figured with the public watch party, it would just be, truly us watching the movie and then just chit-chatting with each other. I thought that would be cool. You don't need me commenting, right? You don't want me interrupting the movie or anything like that. I don't know. Maybe you do. Let me know. But yeah, let me share that link again for the watch party here tonight, guys. And remember, this is a public watch party because you guys fulfilled one of our super chat goals. So keep that in mind. And, keep that in mind moving forward, that whenever I do one of those super chat goals, it will be for a public watch party or a mixtape listening party over on Discord. So really, really fun. I share my screen. You don't have to find your own copy or go to a website or anything like that. We can just watch the movie together. Should be super fun. We're going to do that tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. I can't believe I haven't even mentioned that yet on this stream, but there you go. You've got the, not only do you have the link that I just shared there. I don't know where it went. Okay, there it is. Erica also dropped the link to join the Discord. So click on that link. I'm going to make sure it still works because I know sometimes, the links can be weird with expiration and all that stuff. So let me see here. Erica, I'm just going to make sure that it still works. Where the heck is that? There we go. Just making sure. There it is. Okay, perfect. So there we go. So that link that Erica shared does still work. I just want to make sure. I'm still learning Discord right now. So thank you so much for sharing that, Erica. Yeah, guys, it's free to join the Discord. Members only, or YouTube channel members and Patreon members are going to get exclusive content that other people can't get. But with super chat goals, we can still do public events where everyone can show up, enjoy the film, or enjoy the mixtape listening party. And not only that, guys, you are voting on which movie we're watching. And when it comes to mixtape parties, you guys are able to submit your songs that you want added to the playlist. Now, we're going to play fair, right? We're just going to fill up about an hour's worth of music. So it's kind of first come, first serve. And if you drop 3 songs or whatever, I'm just going to go with the first song. Now, if we're able to cycle back because a bunch of people didn't drop songs, then maybe we cycle back to you like we would at like karaoke or something like that. But It should be really fun and a great way for you guys to interact in between streams, and a really cool way for us to do some stuff that we can't do here on YouTube. So for you members especially, I want to make it more worth it than it's ever been, and that's why we're going to have a lot of fun over on the Discord with you guys. So make sure you vote in the poll. I'm going to be closing the polls for the movie we're watching tonight. It's Evil Dead 2013, Pumpkinhead from 1988, Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 74, or Hellraiser from 1987. So those are the options. Right now, I think Evil Dead 2013 is in the lead, so make sure you vote on YouTube. And if you're on the Discord, you can vote over there as well. Keep in mind, guys, the voting is going to move all the way over to Discord next time around. So this is the last time you can double dip on the votes. So just so you know. And boom, look at that. Jeff Overing just became a YouTube channel member. Thank you so much, Jeff. Really appreciate you, bud. Really appreciate the membership there. So guys, we're at 75 YouTube channel members. How amazing is that? Everybody, welcome Jeff on into the fray. We got Eli throwing some love out there. Have a great rest of your day, Erica. Hopefully we'll see you tonight for the watch party. And yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me as well. So little recap of everything we did here. Sign up for the Discord. Link is in the description below. It's free. It's a lot of fun. The sense of community is really popping over there. I love it. I never thought that the Discord could be this much fun. So jump on over and join us. Spooky season merch is here. Guys, click the link in the description for the Fourth Wall shop. I believe I have it pinned in the chat as well. There is a discount code, SPOOKY, all capitals, SPOOKY, 10% off. Don't miss out on this discount. It is not going to last the entire spooky season. I will not tell you when I'm pulling that code down, but I will tell you this. I urge you to check out the site, find some stuff that you like, maybe find something for a loved one as well. Put in that order and you get 10% off if you use the code SPOOKY. So make sure you do that. And Halloween Portal unboxing, got some fun gear from the Halloween Portal people. Check that out. A t-shirt and a hat. Not so bad, not so bad. And how about this? Decades of Dread Part 2. Looks like we need a Part 3. We got into the 90s and the 2000s. Next time, guys, we're going to tackle the 2010s and the 2020s. And now I know moving forward that whenever we dive into decades or we're trying to cover a lot of stuff for horror, maybe just pick a couple. Just pick a couple. Don't try to swallow the whole meal all at once. How about that? So really appreciate you guys for kicking it with me over here on Late Night with the Davey Before Dark. This is episode 59 of Late Night with the Davey. I can't believe it. We are getting closer to that 60, to the 75. And then, oh my gosh, the 100th episode of Late Night with the Davey is going to be bonkers. I'll tell you that much. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate the Patreon members, the YouTube channel members, our amazing group of Death Squad mods. Really appreciate Jeff for signing up for membership here today. I look very much forward to seeing you guys later on tonight on Discord. I will share a link here on YouTube so you can find that event. Nothing's going to pop up though on YouTube. You're not going to get like a live stream popping up on YouTube. So you do want to go over to the Discord. You do want to basically RSVP for the event. And ooh, look at that. We got Dog Thing has joined the fray as well. So we have 4 new channel members as of this morning, 6 new server members as of last night. So yeah, guys, jump on over there. That watch party is going to get going just after 9 p.m. Eastern. And that is going to do it for this round of Late Night with the Davey Before Dark. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for contributing to the conversation. I love chatting with you guys about movies, all this stuff that we love. And there we go. Manny's Manic Media, one of our great channel members, is Dog Thing. So hopefully we'll see you in the watch party later on tonight, Manny. Again, love you guys so much. Day 28 of no alcohol is going awesome. I'm going to go feed myself because I haven't done that yet today. And just make sure I'm not too shaky for tonight's public watch party. And which movie is it going to be? It looks like it's going to be Pumpkinhead or Evil Dead 2013. Get in your last minute votes. I'm going to be closing the poll here shortly. And with that being said, until next time, I and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.